So I'll share with you a bit about my experience on what I've done over the last 20 months or so in AIA to help you understand what the organization has gone through and how we've put in place some practices which I think would be quite interesting and unique for your learning purposes. Okay? And some of you had actually distributed ice cream to your employees recently. Okay, we've got one person, so 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and what were the rest of us doing? Distributing bonuses and salaries, right? Okay. How many of you have distributed balloons to your colleagues and your employees? Okay, so we've got another one person there. Right. Anyone given balloons recently? Right. Okay. What about giving flowers to the family of your employees?
When they die.
Okay, so we've got 1, 2, and 3, and how many of you did this, or how many of you are thinking of doing this as a corporate program? That means HR facilitates it. You buy the flowers, you give it to your employees and tell them, here's a flower for your loved ones, bring it home and give it to your loved ones for being your pillar of support. How many of you have done that, or thinking of doing that? You should do it. It costs a little bit, but the value proposition that it brings to your employees is phenomenal. Okay? You are now you're talking about benefits outside of the workplace. And as Samir mentioned, not all benefits are monetary. Right? And there's a lot that you can do from a HR perspective to really engage your employees and the families of your employees. And Molly talked a bit about that as well. If you actually think about it, the benefits program that you put together, if you can create an impact on the family, that would be fantastic. Because your families would then continue to support your employees, who can then continue to work longer hours in an environment which you have created. We all invest a lot of money in ergonomics and creating the right lighting and providing the best technology, right? So if you don't make use of the environment, there's a cost to it, right? So make sure that your employees spend more time in the office. Right? So when they're in the office, then provide them with massage, right? Or buy massage chairs and make sure that they are comfortable. Okay? And please turn down the air conditioning because I know you're all freezing. That 1% or 1 degree change in air conditioning temperature makes your employees more comfortable and it saves you $1 or 2 or maybe a few thousand a year, I don't know, depending on the size of your operation. Okay, so let me get started now, right? That we've gone through that. So that's 3 points for you to think about. Now, AIA is an interesting company, and in 2008, this happened to us. If you can see this, if you can't read it, never mind. Change is going to happen. Whether you like it or not, your organization is going to change. Interestingly for us, the organization's change was imposed on us. Not because we were not doing well as a business, we were doing fantastic. 2007, 2008 were great years for us from a business perspective. Unfortunately, our parent, right, AIG, right, had a few spa incidences, and they ran into a little bit of trouble with their finances. So as they say, if your parent is in trouble, the child has to help. Right? So as a business, we have to help them. But unfortunately, some of the impact of AIG's situation had created a big impact in Singapore. Right? So these pictures that you see are actually real-life pictures that appeared in the press, and it appeared on CNN, and our employees became famous. Right? Overnight, we became famous. Our customer service center had 200-300 people queuing around the corner. Right? So when I walked into the office on that day, the first question on my mind is, how do I fix this? Right? What do I say to employees that will make sure that they will come back tomorrow to want to continue to work and serve the customers that are still in the queue, right? And try to calm everyone down. And so that was our challenge in 2008, late 2008. So change happens and you got to deal with it. Now in HR, if you don't deal with change, I think you are fooling our profession. I think we've got to deal with it. We've got to face change head on. And we've got to realize that change is going to be around us. Right? I think Molly's experience around shifting some of the responsibility of benefits to the employees is change. Right? Not very many employees in Singapore are used to it. Right? Take away $1 from an employee and you know what I mean. Right? right? But you give them 10 in return and they still say it's not enough. Right? Okay, let me just move on. So we need to deal and respond with change. And the key points to note in my experience, and let me just turn this off, it's giving a bit of an echo. Okay, I think the people are key assets. You know, we often talk about this, right? Many HR people talk about it. All HR people that I speak to say that people are key assets. But what does it really mean to us? Right? And I'll share with you over the next few slides what it means. Change involves people, right? You can change the computers, you can change the massage chairs, you can change the lighting, you can change the air conditioning, but you need to change people as well. That's an important process. And when you are like us in a diversity, adversity or in a challenging environment, you can get through that adversity, not once but twice, and I'll explain to you why I mean by twice. When you focus on your people and you help them to change with you. Okay? Now, I said that we are facing a second adversity now, a second challenge. If you are familiar with the news and you've been following the AIA story, you realize that AIA has been put on sale again. So this is the second time in about 12, 14 months that it's been put on sale. Right? So the employees are saying that, okay, the organization helped me to get through the first challenge with the AIG separation, and now we have another uncertainty ahead of us. So we are truly dealing with a second uncertainty. Right? And our employees are just tired. Right? They've reached the point of maximum ability to accept change. Right? And eventually, that employees will move on. Right? So we've got to deal with that real issue right now. Okay? And I'll share with you some of our experiences in dealing with that. I think our job in HR is to ensure that our staff know that they still have a job. Okay? That's the most critical thing that you need to do. So on the 16th of September, when I came into the office, 16th September 2008, when I came into the office, the first thing that I did was I spoke to my payroll team and I said, call Citibank and make sure that they deliver the salary on the 18th. So you can imagine if on the 18th of that month, if we had not paid our employees, we would have a riot on our hands. Right? Because here the employees are dealing with customers, queues, and a lot of adversity. So the first thing that we need to make sure that there was money in the bank. Right? Because when employees see that, they feel a bit calmer. They will say that at least this month I got salary. Yeah? Next month we'll think about it. But that's the most important thing that I think I had to do. What we had to do as a team, and we had to be nimble, right? And we had to stop non-essential HR activities. Right? What do I mean by that? How many of you believe that during a crisis, people still want to go for training? Okay, I don't see a show of hands, so I think we're all in agreement on that one. Right? And that's what we stopped. No one had the mindset, or no one had the appetite or the care for training at that stage. So you have to be nimble and change your resources, change the way that you focus on things that you do. You got to be in the front line and stand side by side with the customers and your staff. Remember, your customers are your staff, and your staff are dealing with the crisis. Now, you can't be sitting behind the desk in the HR department, right, trying to understand the crisis. You got to be out there next to your staff dealing with the crisis, right? You got to protect them from abuse. And literally, during the crisis, when customers have to queue up for 4 or 5 hours, they can get abusive, right? Verbally, luckily not physical, right? Because we had some security guards around to protect our staff, but verbally they were abused, they were insulted, and they would face a lot of pressure. So imagine doing this, dealing with customers who are unsure about the future of their protection. Because they bought a policy from AIA, they didn't know where this was heading. Right? They were worried with the AIG's crisis, AIA will evaporate. So when AIA evaporates, what happens to the insurance contract? Right? So that's what they were dealing with, and we had to stand there with our customers and with our staff to educate them. Do whatever it takes to calm the staff down, even if it means buying chicken rice, right? Or tea, or coffee, or drinks and snacks. Now, there's no harm in a HR person walking into an organization carrying packs of food. Right? That's the only true way that you can really show people that you care in a crisis.